So guys, I'm really grateful that we are here today to talk about Unnested, my, baby, our baby in a lot of ways. Let's introduce ourselves. So we have on my right.
This is Tanahiry Machuca-Torres, the AD for Unnested. And to my left.
Yes, left. It wasn't right.
I am Leda, the producer for Unnested. Happy to be here. And now to my left.
To her left, this is Manuel Fernandez. I was the production designer of Unnested. And to my left is...
Deon, Gedeon, cinematographer and featurette producer.
Nice.
And yeah.
And to your left is Sabrina Federhofer, writer and director of Unnested and co-editor of the film. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. And of course, all the work that you guys put into the film. And I can't wait to share my love to you guys individually as we go through this and just go through this film because it was such a big process. So I know it's going to be really fun to talk about this. So the film, if you don't know, listeners, is about empty nest syndrome, which is not an official psychosis in a way, but it's just a collection of symptoms that parents can go through when their children leave the family home. So I never really seen that depicted in media a lot, so I thought that would be something cool to kind of tackle. Originally it was going to be a drama, but Professor Augustine, our professor, from MDC, he was like, no, you're a good comedy writer, you should make this a comedy, it'll be really fun. So yeah, the film is them kind of dealing with those feelings and using social media to kind of work through that. And I think it's a really it's a modern film, but I feel like it's timeless at the same time. So yeah. I got inspired by my parents. So you guys met my parents and everything. You could see like the visually
Very comical at the very least.
Oh yes? Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, my parents are very like, I think like they work as a sitcom, so it was a no-brainer to me to pick them. Even like now, like yesterday we were like cooking together and like just their interactions, I'm like, oh my god, it's like Joanna and Gerard. Like it's just they're like, they don't need to do anything, like it's just being them and their dynamic. It's just like the comedy writes itself, so I had to pull from them. And also like, they've supported me all my life, especially as an artist and a filmmaker, so I feel like for my thesis project it made sense to like give the film back to them. So yeah, I hope that they enjoy it. I mean, I know they enjoy it. My mom, every time I'm like editing it or anything, she like tries to sneak over and look at what I'm doing, and I'm like, no, you have to wait till December, you have to see it later. So yeah, I'm sure you guys, like you said, you can tell how my parents were and
being on set, watching you make this for them and having them be on set and look at everything and look so inspired by you, it was an amazing experience, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
It is true. I have to add that the fact that your parents were there made a big difference to all of us. Even though I don't feel like, they could be my parents, but it made a difference. The support and the love that they had for the project, for every one of us. The way they cooked the meals, I mean, it was amazing. Yeah. And it's really nice to see that. I relate to being unnested in a way because my son left our house 5 years ago. And you always try to get close to them and, in a way be in their lives. And you know that they are great. You don't have children to have them all your life with you, but when they leave, they really leave an empty nest.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I did want to say it was the first set I had been on where I met the director's parents, and that was a very unique experience for me. But Rob and Selena being there, I think a lot of sets kind of have like a familial characteristic about them, but there was something a little bit different here, and I think like Rob and Selena were like the glue, kind of like binding everything together. So I think that was very unique about this film.
Yeah, we love you.
Yes, shout out to them.
We love
Shout out to Robin and Selena.
Do you want to say anything?
But yeah, I think it is cool just to have two-parent home, and plus to even support you the way they did. I think it's really cool. It's just a blessing.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge blessing. That's
Yeah.
really cool. So shout out to Robert and Selena
Yeah.
for
sure.
supporting you, having
This is
your
for you
back.
guys.
One of my favorite moments with them was when we were prepping the prep
Oh,
prep
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
When
think
we
it was
were
the day before.
building like a couch or something like
We were
that.
building shelves, couches.
We were building everything on this film, okay? Stay tuned.
yeah.
And I don't know where we just decided to look at in YouTube High School Musical
Oh my God.
songs.
Yeah.
And we're just singing our hearts out, and they were just looking at us in awe.
Yeah.
And then after, he was like, I've never seen any other friendship where you just spontaneously, while you're working, you just sing out all your favorite songs
Yeah.
from your house, from your childhood.
Yeah.
And it was super super nice and super gratifying to see. He was talking to me,
Yeah.
to see you and Sabrina just do that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry. But yes, it was a really cool experience.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that day. That was great. It felt like a genuine moment of friendship.
Yeah.
So
And we were trying to teach Manny the songs 'cause he's never seen,
he never saw High School Music. Oh my
which
God.
is I don't
That's
get
a
it.
whole different podcast.
Yeah.
How dare he? And he doesn't have any excuse. He was in that era. He's our generation. So
Uh-huh.
there's no excuse.
But that's
yeah.
one of the greatest things of this group and this film is that we really felt like a family,
Yeah.
and everybody working it
Mhm.
put so much effort and so much work into having things done well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and there was no one moment of drama
Mm-mm.
or something weird going on. It was so cool the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time together because this
Oh,
is
yeah.
one of the longest
Productions.
productions that we have produced.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of locations, a lot of company
Planning.
moves and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And, when that happens,
You could butt
there
heads.
things may go wrong between
Mhm.
the people that are working. But in this case, none of that.
No.
None of
No.
that happened. So it's
I think it was the smoothest production I've been a part of for sure. Even though it was like the biggest one too, but in terms of like socially, like that element, the emotional element, I guess, the personal element, that was really good. And that's what we want. Like at least like for me, like going into this industry, like of course you want to make good art, but like there's no point of doing all this work and all this money and time and effort if like you're not having fun or like you're not making genuine connections and like I don't know, you're not making like that lasting impact like on set, like being that light on set. Because yeah, the film might be good, but like you have like bad stories or whatever from set. It's like it kind of taints everything, you know. But
Mhm.
I'm glad that we saw like in the featurette, for example, like just everyone who went up, they were just saying like, "Oh yeah, it was so fun," and they would share their stories. So that's what makes it all worthwhile, you know. Sometimes if I'm tired, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta keep doing this or whatever," like editing it or whatever. Like you look back at like the BTS and you're like,
Mhm.
"We did that," and like people had fun, and like, yeah, we did that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really good. We were talking about when you were gone about when we were trying to teach you High School Musical music in my house.
Oh my God, yeah, I remember that. I didn't understand the tragedy of Gabby and Troy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
I
go
still really
my
don't,
own
but being
way.
introduced to it was like a cultural awakening for me.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
I
you
wasn't
have
a
to watch
huge
the
Disney
movies.
kid, and
we were watching.
I mean, we'll see if there's ever, like when the
We should do
time
a
comes,
movie.
I'll tell Sabrina like, hey, I watched it,
You'll be ready.
Mhm.
but we'll see.
Mhm.
It's funny because like a lot of those films have influenced me, like writing wise and like
Yeah, of
directing
course.
wise. Talking about the inspiration, the
Mm.
inspiration of the film. Yeah, it's a nice segue. I went to a Jonas Brothers concert, like Manny knows, like 2 weeks ago. That's how I got sick, but whatever. And I've been watching like their series from Disney Plus. Like I've been
Oh
watching
my
their
God,
series.
yes.
They're old, yeah, from like 2008 or 9 or whatever it is, with my parents because they're interested. Especially my mom. Like my mom loves like those old Disney or like Nickelodeon shows, so we watch them together now because they just want to get close with me,
Yeah, of
see
course.
like what you grew up on and stuff.
Before you leave the nest.
Yeah, right. Oh my
There we go,
gosh.
that
Even
part.
for me though, like getting older, it's like it's nice to look back and have that nostalgia. And I've realized like a lot of like the humor, like the things that they do. I'm like, oh my gosh, I put that into like my work a lot of times. So I've told a friend once, I was like, I want to make films that like have that feeling of like DCOMs, Disney original movies and things like that, like from our youth, but like look like, you know, nice and like a Wes Anderson film, you know, like
Yeah, of course.
if you can like merge the gap, you know, make like good family content that's like a wide audience can enjoy, but like it also has a lot of artistic merit and stuff like that. So that's why, like, for example, production design and costuming was pretty important to me. Like I wanted the film to have like a signature look. So maybe Manny can talk about that.
Yeah, I think this film definitely proposed like an interesting challenge, mainly because I think it kind of had, I don't know, it kind of had this draw. It had this appeal to me that brought me into art department in the first place. And it was just how reliant you wanted the setting and the costuming and just the overall look of the film to reflect the conflict and reflect the, you know, the struggles with the two main characters. So I think just trying to find a blend of nostalgia clashing, you know, with this like contemporary, you know, world and style of today, you know, especially with like the social media tie-in. I think that was pretty fun. You know, it kind of feels like they're clinging on to something that's no longer around, and you know, they're a little uncomfortable with the way things are today. And I think it was fun just to, especially from an art perspective, and just seeing all the crazy locations and sequences and set pieces they're a part of, just how they kind of start to embrace that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I think a huge selling point as to like why I got into art to begin with was it felt like I could add details to the characters or the setting or the conflict just visually. And I felt like that's something I always loved to do in writing. So finding another way to do that on set was like, oh my God, like it was awakening. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, there's like more than one way you can do this, you know? So it was fun being able to like tap into that on this film.
I love that. And her costume too, like same thing with the production design. I wanted to be like iconic looks and like color palettes. Like you think of like Jurassic Park, like you immediately know what they wear in the film. Like there's films that you kind of know the color scheme well, you know, it's like for Ellie Sattler in the movie, she wears like pink with blue and the khaki pants. Like you remember these things. And even though we had like multiple costume changes because it's supposed to be like multiple days and multiple locations, I wanted like both characters to have like kind of like that signature style that you're like, okay, he's that way. And again, it plays into the character of like why he's that way. He's a mechanic, so he dresses with denim and things like that, and he's all American, so it's like the red, white, and blue. And then with her, she's a little bit more fancy, and so she has like, and feminine, so she has like these pink colors and nice pastels and stuff like that. So shout out to our costume designer and stylist, Juanita Garcia. She can be here today with us. But it was just a fantastic experience with her. She's so talented. I've known her for so many years. And what's amazing is that she had like everything we needed, basically. Like, especially, well, mostly for Yajhayra's character, Joanna, because she's a woman. So she didn't have like male clothes. But for her, yeah, she had like everything that I needed. She had like silk shirts, like the colors were right. Even for our Daniel Devo character from Stargazer. Shout out to Kilton Chris. Kilton Chris
Javier.
Javier, yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, our actor there. I love him. Yeah, like she had that gold shirt that I wanted. I wanted like a disco kind of thing. And he had the pants, but she had that gold shirt. It's a woman's shirt, actually. But she had it. And it fit him perfect.
Hey, it works how it works.
It
works, yeah. So it's just like little things like that. You look back and you're like, wow, like you didn't even have to like, I'm gonna say try, and even if we had to, we would have done it. But like these little moments like that, you're like, wow, like it worked out, you know. So that was just really great. But you mentioned like, you know, the many locations we have. So how is juggling that, AD producers? You know,
oh my gosh,
I'm gonna leave it to Leda to talk about that, and then I'll be like, yep.
Sure.
Wow, that was quite range of things that we had to look for. But I think they were very specific. So even though there was a lot of locations, we managed to find, I think, the right ones. And it took us a while to get the locations because of the permits and all that, even though we started earlier. But they always take time to answer you. And, you have to be persistent. And I am. And I was like on top of these people, and to the point that I was getting to be annoying to them, but I didn't care because I needed an answer. Everybody was responding positively to our requests, and even to the amount of hours, because we didn't have enough money to pay for big stuff. But everybody was good, and one of the logistic problems that we had is that some of them were really far away from each other, so we have to divide them, and that's when Tana was struggling with the schedule, because we need to complete a lot of things in 5 days. We didn't have any more, and the locations weren't close to each other.
No, specific. I think
The airport.
We managed to do only one company move, from the paintball place
To the beach.
to the beach.
Yeah.
And it was scary because the weather forecast wasn't in our side either.
Oh, yeah.
It rained.
It rained on the beach, but then the sun came out and it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
So it worked perfectly. It was
Yeah.
like the storm and after the rainbow, and it was super great. But those locations, man, it was my first time ADing something with company moves overall.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because before I've only AD'd like we are in this location for this day, this
Right.
day, and this day. Maybe the fourth day we are somewhere else,
Right.
but no company moves in the middle.
And
of
we
the
have
day.
two. We have 2 days of company moves.
Yeah, true. And it was
The first and the last days.
Oh, yes. For the stadium.
Company moves.
And the
the
art gallery.
stadium
From the
and
art
the
gallery.
art gallery.
Oh,
First
the art
day of
gallery.
shooting.
The first day of shooting,
Oh, my gosh.
we went from the art gallery to the stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
And finding that art gallery was not easy, but luckily we got a friend that allowed us to get in his place and do what we needed to do with some restrictions. But
No, of
every
course.
location has restrictions.
Yeah.
So
and it was great.
Yeah, it was
He
personal.
was super nice.
Personal gallery.
And yeah.
And we had like the rights to all his work too, so that definitely helped with production design. So it really did work out. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I remember all those days like going to the den. Deon and Tana. And
Oh,
I,
yeah. Oh,
we
yeah.
had to plan out each day, and I mean that's filmmaking. Like I've done that.
And Tana
kind of-
texting me,
It's
"Can we do this?"
Yeah.
Is it okay if we...
So it's like here's the thing.
Can we have a little bit more time?
Right. We might have to put lunch, at this time. Yeah, I remember. It was great. Because, we're working, like Leda said, we're working around, like, what's available to them, the place, what they give us. And then, of course, if we have a company move, we have to make sure we do everything on time and then be able to move. And then we have to factor in lunch and, of course, all the setup time for every shot. So you're really working a lot with different factors and everything.
I think that one of the things that made this recording time, this production time work so smoothly was the constant communication I had with you, Leda. Because whatever they told me, whatever Deon and Sabrina came up with in shot lists and storyboards and overheads, I would be like, so Leda, this is what's up. And I'm trying to contain it, but I don't want to like creatively shut them down. So you tell me what the restrictions are right now, and I'm gonna push them until that point.
Yeah.
If that goes over, I will shut it down for you. Don't worry about it.
And we did.
And that's exactly what
Yeah.
happened. And I think there was only one day that we went over, but
Oh, the last day, no?
it was the
Like in the car scene or no?
I want to say yes because there was some.
No, we were pretty
Delays, I
good.
think.
We
On
were
the
pretty
car
good
scene?
in.
I remember because we were like,
No,
we need like an hour.
the one thing that was really funny was when we were at the airport and we left. No, we went overtime a little bit what the location has allowed us, but not only that, we finished. And the truck driver gives the keys to Sabrina.
Yes.
She leaves with her family.
Yeah.
And then they have to come back all the way from Miami to Homestead to give us the key for the truck.
Yeah.
That was
crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And we all sat down around the truck, the grip truck,
I saw pictures,
in the grass with a sunset, a beautiful sunset.
My Lord.
I saw the pictures. I was like, okay, at least they're calm. They're not running around. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, in the hecticness, the driver, which he should not be named, but we know.
Absolutely. I absolutely blame the driver.
He had many hats on this
Don't
film.
worry. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, he had it was crazy because we were like putting costume on him. Yeah, and he like handed it to me, and I put it in like my vest, my little vest. I put it in the pocket, and I was like, okay, whatever. He's like, I don't know what to do with this. I mean, I should have like threw it over to you quickly, but it's the hecticness, and then we're already driving. We didn't go all the way back to Miami yet. We were still like on the highway, but it was like halfway. So it's like a long drive. So he's like, do you have it? I'm like, no. Oh, yes. I'm like, oh my gosh. So my parents were like, it's crazy. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's one of those things that happen. Like, it's just in the crazy.
It was bound to happen because everything was going
everything
well.
was too good.
And then I don't know where, bam, and it's like, there it is.
Yeah. But it's a memory. We're talking about it now.
Of course.
And it was
you guys had your little circle of love. Yeah. So, but everything else, I think it worked out. I remember, I think my parents were trying to distract like the skydiving people that worked there. I think that's what my dad was telling me. He's like, yeah, we were like giving them food, talking with them. We had like they were giving them water and everything. So I think they were kind of just chilling, Like,
well, I have to confess that I also went and had a beer with them.
Hey.
But I'm older.
No,
she can do whatever she wants.
Yes. That's the producer job right there. Yeah, that's how good our producer
So I
is.
stayed with them for a while, and then I was like, okay, I wish they are finishing the scene while I was talking BS with them.
Throwing some back. Oh my gosh. Love it. I love it. Yeah. But you had mentioned the rain.
Oh, the rain, yes.
Yes, which I know Deon has some really good stories.
A lot of people have a lot of
stories.
Yes,
that day was
so many different angles.
I think it was a fan favorite day, I guess, because
the beach day.
Yeah, because most people like tell us like, oh yeah, when's your favorite? Like, when was your favorite moment? And they always say like the same moment, or usually from that day. So it was a sunny day. I definitely felt like it was like a fun day because we did paintballing. We already had done. The day before was the plane stuff, which was like, I feel like that was a taxing day because it was like dealing with like, the wind and just being in that plane and like a lot of, like G&E stuff and just like, like a lot of coordinating. But the next day, I feel like it was a little bit more tame. Obviously, we had the company move from paintball to the beach, so that took time. But I think I could tell like everyone was in like a kind of like a high spirits because you're like filming in a paintball place and it's like, it was nice and sunny, and then like we drove over to the beach and like we had lunch on the beach, like not on the beach, but like next to the beach and like the picnic area, and that just put everyone in a good mood. And then it rained.
And then like it wasn't a sprinkle, peoples.
Yeah,
it was rain.
Rain,
like Miami rain.
Showers.
A lot of showers. Definitely. And I don't know, people
but we were
hid
singing.
in their cars.
We were singing.
Oh yes. So
someone hid inside the U-Haul with all the equipment.
Yes.
And then it was still raining, but it kind of like died down a little bit, and they just went outside. All the grips, all the art, everybody just went outside and started dancing in the rain.
Yeah.
Thank God nobody got sick.
No, I don't think so.
But
no, thankfully, no.
It was such a funny moment and such like a
serendipity, a relief.
Yeah.
Because obviously rain is the worst thing, But I think like it was a testament to show like how good our crew was. That like it
And
didn't affect them.
there's another element to that day. We had to return the equipment to the ER.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we were struggling to get there.
Oh wow.
And I kept calling the ER to give us a little bit more time. And it was like right on the dot.
Oh man, I didn't even know that. That's how good you guys are. I didn't even know. No way. Yeah, I remember like, well, I know Deon has a really good story from that, but for me, I had ran into the driving area, like the driver's seat area or whatever of the U-Haul. So it was me. Oh my gosh, Sam Salazar. Shout out to Sam Salazar, the best DIT ever. He had his little MacBook and everything because he had it set up like outside by the beach. But he ran with all his little gadgets and stuff. The hard drive, the big G-Raid. Yeah, he had a run with that. He ran inside there, so he's sitting in the passenger seat. I ran in. I'm like sitting, but it doesn't have like a middle seat. It's like this weird thing that's there. So like I was sitting on that, and then Victor and Ivan run in there as well, like sardine themselves in there. So it's the four of us in there, and these guys start playing music, and I'm over here like, oh my god, like literally it's like raining during the film. I'm like, oh my god, but like they definitely brought my spirits up, and they had their little speaker and they were playing disco, which is like my favorite genre. So it was so great. And when it died down, that's when we got outside and we were still playing the music, and everyone's like, hey guys, the rain. But then they hear the music and we're all like, okay, let's party. So we did like this dance circle and everything. So it was just great to have like.
I want to
those
hear
good vibes.
Deon's story and
But
see
yes,
what
Deon has a
happened
story.
with Deon's eyes.
He shared during the featurette. But yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah. So I guess kind of transitioning off from lunch. And it was kind of just like that kind of middle ground between like lunch and like prepping, and the camera was like prepped on one of the picnic tables, and it started raining, and I forgot who was at the table, because I think maybe it was Louis Pastor. I think he quickly like tried to cover it with like a sweater or something, but Yajhayra, shout out to Jay, Fly with Jay, my cam op. She's also a veteran, so she's just dope. And she ran to the.
She's cool like that.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. One of the best person to have on my crew. But she ran to go get the camera. But it's pouring though.
Yeah.
She ran to go get it. Me and her both ran, but she took it upon herself to grab it and crawled it like a baby. You know what I'm saying? And unless it was her sweater, but I think she probably just threw the sweater on the camera, crawled it like a baby, and then we ran to my car. But then again, it's like it's a beach, so it's like there's the beach, there's the sand, it's like the picnic area, but then the parking lot's like
Separate.
across.
Yeah.
And it's like a hill too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hill.
So exactly. So again, it's gray, just showering. It felt like a gridiron. Like if you watch like a Remember the Titans, like the 6 a.m. call, and you running through the rain, conditioning. Like it's like one of those movies. It was a movie. So it was just me and her just running downhill, just gunning. She just carrying it like they're like a football baby, and she's just taking off, just going downhill. And I ended up running past her because she has to get somewhere. So we ran to my car, and we ran to my car. I ran past her, flying, opened my back seat, and she dove like with the camera in my back seat, just dove, just whoosh.
Wow.
Yeah, and left the camera there, closed it, and but yeah, that was crazy, dog.
It was amazing.
It was a movie. It was a movie.
Determination.
Yeah.
Yeah, to save the baby.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Little Red.
that was a little scary for a second, but it was all good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That,
what a
that
moment.
seems
though.
like an amazing moment right there.
No, yeah.
I'm imagining it in my head with caricatures and cartoons. It's like a running Jay, like, and then she just
Taking
dives.
Yeah, literally dove. I wish she could tell a story. We gotta get her.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know. I want to hear from her perspective what she remembered.
Yeah.
But
that's one
definitely
heck of a
that day,
moment.
everybody there showed such an amount of professionalism, because nobody cared about themselves being wet, but about the equipment being in the place where it was safe.
Yeah.
And it was very important.
That's true.
Nobody has to say anything. Everybody run with something.
You grab and
grab
go.
something and put it inside.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, you get this or you get no.
No.
Everybody knew that
It's
they
like
have
fight or
to
flight.
act
Mhm.
right
Yeah,
away.
fight or
Flight.
flight.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Grab and go. Yeah. I think they saved
a
my
battlefield.
storyboard.
And then it was a beautiful
Oh yeah, the
afternoon.
storyboards were saved.
I remember. I think it was like Juanita had
Oh
them.
my god.
It's like, we try to save them. And they're getting
I-
like wet, but I was like, oh my gosh. I totally like forgot.
I just want to say, like, parentheses, this film would not have been made without those storyboards.
Yeah.
Those storyboards were the
Mhm.
best thing ever. We would just
Oh
look
my
and be like,
gosh.
oh, so we haven't recorded this, we have recorded this, so let's just
Mhm.
Yeah.
okay, this is next. Great. Okay.
Yeah, I know, I love it. It's just like a visual, you know, and like Leda and I kind of were talking about like, oh, we should put it on like a poster board. I remember she told me that, and I've done that before for other little films, but it was nice to hear that you say that because this was like a very professional shoot. And she was like, the producer's like, no, do it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I had drew each one of them, and I would print out or like print the ones that we were shooting that day and then just threw it on there, and like also in like shooting order sometimes. But yeah, I like, for me, I found that easier because, you know, it's a visual medium, so shot list is great, you know. I know like
Mhm.
good for DPs and stuff, but for me, like, I needed to like see what's next.
Mm.
So I have all of them. Yeah, I want to like put them all together or something, make a children's book. No, I'm joking. But yeah, maybe we can incorporate it in like the credits or something. 'Cause it's like, you know, you can see like scene by like shot by shot, like, you know, that we
Definitely.
planned and like drew everything out. And of course we did like the overheads.
Mhm.
I remember when we were doing the overheads for the plane, and like
Mhm.
we were in the den, and I don't know if you were in there in that, but I remember it was him and I, me and Deon,
Mhm.
and like we were like trying to like block it and rehearse it, like using the den's chairs.
Oh my
like,
god,
they
yes,
had-
I was there.
yeah, like they
Oh.
yeah, and they had like these little like weird circle chair things, and like we were like trying to arrange them and be like, okay, the camera will be here, we're here. And I don't know if we knew at that time that only 4 people could be in the plane. I don't know if we were still, yeah, I think we found that out on set actually. I don't know, but we were just trying to figure out like how we would do everything.
I don't know,
and-
but I was really
yeah.
paranoid about that rule.
Yes, I know.
Super paranoid. See the featurette, you will understand why. No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yes, the plane. Yes, I remember. But yeah, we did that multiple times when we were planning the shots and everything. Because you'll be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"What is this?" Like you're pointing at the drawing. You're like, "What does that mean?" And like the shot list, and she's like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Okay, get up." And like we're like, "Okay, like this." And you're like, "Would Gerard be here?" And like I'd be here. I'm like, "No, I'm Joanna. You're Gerard. The camera's here." She's like, "Oh, okay." So it was really good. Like going through. those
What
scenes
she
with
doesn't
you.
know is I knew exactly what it was as soon as I saw it, but I needed her to understand
Oh
where
my
everything
God.
was.
Mhm.
Okay. It was a learning experience.
Yeah, and Deon
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's like, Deon, you
It's
see where the
true.
camera is, right?
It's true.
Is that where it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's what makes you such a good AD. Yeah. No, honestly, I've never worked. I mean, all of you guys, to be honest. But right now we're gonna highlight Anna. But she's like, no, stop. But yes. Yeah, I've never worked with like someone like that professional, like so knowledgeable, because you know so much about film. Obviously, we all studied it, but like you do a role that maybe is not like traditionally like creative in the sense, but like you have to be creative because you have to like have that eye for like everything and know, okay, based on what I know and I could diagnose from this shot, it's gonna take this much amount of time, and like you know what you're signing up for, like you're telling me and Deon, like, you know what this entails, like you just said. And so that just takes so much knowledge and like logistically and like business wise and like that kind of savvy, and also like creatively, like, so shout out of course to Tanahiry for that.
I second that. She's the
Yes,
best.
she is.
She is the best.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah.
Anyway.
No, definitely see a bright future for you. I can't
You know
wait.
what I want to know is how was your experience with lighting and the camera angles for all the in front of the TV montage, where they're getting the idea of like
When
we
they
should
are
do
watching the
social
show.
media.
Oh, you mean like the oh yes, that day.
Yes, because we had to do like 4 different scenes or something like that where it was just in front of the TV, but it was like different times of day.
Oh, you mean the chalkboard scenes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yes,
you meant okay.
those and the
Not on the
TV.
couch. Chalkboard
It was
scenes.
like in the living room area.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember that I was like okay, but is it night or day?
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, afternoon. I'm like, no. Night or day.
I get you. I mean,
And
it
then-
determines everything.
And then Deon wouldn't help me because he was like, oh, yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 o'clock when the sun is like almost there, but not there yet. I'm like, oh my God.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
But they made it work so good.
Yeah.
And like, just tell me about it.
Yeah.
About that
Just the
specific.
passage of time. Yeah. Making time look different. with
I
lighting.
mean, yeah, because I guess for DPs and gaffers, it's like it's not just day or night. It's like it's day, but is it like morning? Is it noon?
It's
Is
so
it
different, yeah.
evening?
Depending
Is
on
it
the time.
golden hour? Is
Mhm.
it blue hour? Is it twilight? You know what I'm saying? Is it cloudy? Is it so all of that kind of? It's not just this day, like because you like that different.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're a photographer or a DP or gaffer, like like even the angle of the sun casts shadows at a different angle. You know what I'm saying? So you could tell, like somebody faked golden hour because your shadows are more so like vertical, but you made the shot really warm. Like that looks fake,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like DPs and camera people are real sensitive to that. So like you gotta like be more specific. Like, is this morning or is this like noon? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
You used the app, right? A lot. The
Yes,
Sunseeker.
Sunseeker, if I'm not mistaken, is what it's called. But yeah, really good app for
Mhm.
pre-production. Yeah.
To get that authentic lighting.
Mhm.
If you want to replicate a certain time, like you were saying. Yeah.
Exactly. Or just know how to, even manipulate light, block light. If you have to put,
Where the sun is at. Yeah.
yeah, if you want to make it look night or make it look evening, even though we're shooting at noon. You know what I mean? So all of that is pre-production.
Another app that when we were at your house and we were like looking at the shots that we were gonna do in the house, you used another app.
called Caterage.
Yeah.
Cater.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but that's
Caterage?
Caterage.
I don't know. It's
Tomato,
like,
tomato.
yeah, you can like make the camera like on your phone so you can see what it looks like, a preview. So you
Yeah.
put in like red, we're going to use this lens with this filter, and it kind of gives you like an approximate of what it
That was
looks
honestly
like.
super cool.
Yeah.
That
I
was
remember
beyond
I was
funny.
like blocking with you guys. I was like, I'm Joanna. What do I do?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
take the picture. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let's put it on the storyboard.
No, that was good. I think you have to pay for the app too.
Yeah, you actually do.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
we
$10.
could probably take 30 seconds and give the sponsors of this
Sure.
shameless plug.
Sponsored
But
by-
yeah, you actually do have to pay for. It's probably like $20. When I was like PAing music videos, I'll see the DP and director use Caterage just to like, cause I guess music videos are slightly different with it, like pre-production. It's not like as much time for like for movies you say like an hour or like a month to like pre-production.
Yeah.
But like music videos, kind of like more so on site or maybe the day before. But I'll see the DP and director use the Caterage app and just like kind of go through like shots. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go here, we're gonna start here, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there. We use this lens, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I seen a DP, a professional DP, named Philip Lee. He's really cool. He used Caterage, and I'm like, if I want to take this serious, then maybe I should just buy it. Invest it. Invest in it. So coming to UNNESTED, I made sure we use that to the full capabilities.
Yeah.
And you're able to punch in like the camera that you're using, also the lens that you're using, and then you could take photos or videos and use it as like storyboards.
Yeah.
So
That
it's,
really helps.
it's pre-production, so you kind of rehearse shots and then you
Mhm.
duplicate the same thing
Yeah.
on set. So
And
yeah,
you get it as close, Obviously, you're not going to have the camera with you on like location scouts and stuff like that or like rehearsals, but we had that and it kind of was like the
Exactly.
next best thing.
yeah, exactly. Even you don't have to even rehearse with like real lenses. You could like see what it looks like within the app first, and then you could decide what lens you want to use.
Yeah.
So it's just really good for pre-production, all that good stuff.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
best thing, just
Mhm.
preparing. I've learned that like with this film, like the best thing you could do is over prepare, because
Oh yeah.
yeah, when you're on set, the last thing you want to do is like work in that sense. Like you just want
That's
to
true.
execute everything you already did, like you already planned
That's right.
out, because you just have no time. Like there's people waiting. There's like, and of course when you get in the industry, it's like time is money, literally. But with this, I mean, there's so many factors that you can't just be sitting there like, oh, what should we do with this? It's like, nah, every question has to be answered before you even step foot on set. So I think all of us really shined in that like way. You guys are constantly like, okay, what about this? And like, what about that? And like just making sure like all of our, like I's were dotted or T's were crossed, whatever, like making sure everything was like on point. So thank you for that. A lot, yeah.
For sure.
Because we would have buckled under pressure. And, oh my God, I would have
Yeah.
got so stressed on set.
Yeah. Pre-production is
Yeah.
major key,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's everything.
I'm so
It's
glad to hear
major
you
key.
say that.
Yeah.
So happy.
No, I love
It
it. I mean,
is.
it's taxing, but I really do like it. Yeah.
It is. That's the moment when you solve the problems. That doesn't mean that when you get to be on set, there are not things that are going to appear, because it always happens. But the least you have to deal on set is because you had a good prep.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's you have to check every box, everything. You cannot believe anybody.
No.
You have to double check on that person and make sure that everything that you have to have on set is pre-produced.
Yeah. And I guess it shows like the experience, like for all of you guys, you've all came in with like different, not levels, but like different years of experience. And you can really see it like with these questions that like you would ask, or these potential scenarios that you would present to me. And it's like, oh, wow, like I didn't even think about that. And it's like Leda comes in, she's like, oh, we have to make sure that we have this. I'm like, oh, snap. So it's just really cool to see like, once again, like all the many like types of skill sets that go into filmmaking, which I've always advocated, like no matter who you are, you should try to get on a set at least like once in your life. If it's an extra or whatever, anyone, it doesn't matter who you are. I think that like there's so much when it comes like just interpersonal skills and just like logistical skills, like learning film. It's like honestly like every niche is there and every skill set is like touched upon, from like logistics to again like just socially, like how to work with people, team building, things like that. Like Deon and I talk about that all the time, like like how you learn how to be a better team and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, it's just really cool to see like how all your minds work, and then like how they all come together to make like this product, So yeah.
Fix it in pre. Fix it in pre. That part.